I will never forget the first time I saw her picture. It was like a bolt of lightning had struck my chest. The smile, the eyes, the way she looked like she could see right into my soul. I felt it immediately. I knew, somehow, that this woman was going to change my life forever. Little did I know she would also shatter it. My name is Doug. I was born with cerebral palsy. Life has never been easy for me. Every day has been a struggle. Not just with my body, but with loneliness, with longing, with a quiet ache for someone to love me the way I had always imagined love should be. I thought I had grown used to that ache. I thought I had accepted that maybe love was something other people got to experience, but not me. And then, she appeared. Her name was Darkise. I met her online like so many people do these days through a dating site. But she was different. There was something magnetic about her words, her laughter, the way she wrote messages that made me feel seen, truly seen, for the first time in my life. Doug, she typed one night, I don't want games. I want something real. I want someone who sees me for me. Could that be you? I was hooked. Every message, every late-night conversation pulled me deeper. She told me about her past. The mistakes, the pain, the life she wanted to leave behind. She said she had worked as an escort, that she had been trapped in a world she didn't want, and that now she was ready for something real, something honest, something with me. Before long, we were talking about love. We said, I love you over text, over calls, over video. And I believed it. I wanted to believe it. I wanted her to be real so badly that I ignored every tiny doubt creeping in the corners of my mind. Then came the dreams, the plans. She wanted to leave her old life behind, move to the Dominican Republic, start a business together. She painted vivid pictures of the future. A small house by the beach, the sun rising over turquoise waters, us living our lives together, free from lies, free from pain. Every word she spoke was a brushstroke painting a life I could almost touch. She asked me for help. At first, small things, a few $100s here, a few thousand there. I thought of it as supporting her dreams, helping the woman I loved escape her past. But the requests grew larger, more urgent, more insistent. She spoke of investments, of opportunities in the Dominican Republic, of connections that only she had access to. I gave her money, and then more, and then even more. Each time she would whisper, Doug, this is it. This is the last step. After this, we'll be together. We'll have everything we ever wanted. And I believed her. I wanted to believe her. Then came the call that would change everything. Doug, she said, her voice trembling like glass. I'm pregnant. You're going to be a father. I laughed. I cried. I shook. My hands trembled as if electricity had run through them. I could barely speak. I told my friends. I told my family. I was going to be a father. My heart soared. My chest felt like it could burst. I imagined holding her hand, hearing our child's laughter, waking up every morning with them beside me. I imagined a life that had always felt impossible finally within reach. But soon that dream was shattered. Months later, she called me, her voice heavy with sorrow. Doug, I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage. I sat in my chair, frozen, staring at the wall, feeling a pain so deep I thought it might consume me. The grief was suffocating. But even in my despair, a tiny, terrifying thought flickered in my mind. What if there was never a baby at all? Pushed it away. I had to. There was no room for doubt when my heart had already been wounded so many times before. Then came December 2006. I had saved up, planned meticulously, and was ready to fly to the Dominican Republic. I needed to see her. I needed to know she was real, to touch her, to finally believe that everything she had said, everything she had promised, was true. And then, the call came. Darkise had died. My world crumbled. My heart, already fragile, cracked under the weight of grief. I called her friends, cried in my apartment, lit candles, whispered prayers into the night. I mourned the woman I had loved, the life I had imagined, the child I would never meet. But the truth, the devastating, cruel truth, was far worse than death. She was alive. She had never been pregnant. She had never lost a baby. She had faked everything. The investments, the calls, the tears, the heartbreak. It had all been a lie. She had been married all along, and she had fled to Jamaica with her husband to escape me, to escape the consequences of her deception. When I finally discovered the truth, it felt like the floor had vanished beneath me. Every dollar I had given her, every dream she had spun, every tear I had shed, it was all stolen. She had not just stolen my money. She had stolen my heart, my hope, my trust. The road to justice was long and cruel. She was eventually arrested, convicted of fraud, and sentenced to 4 years in prison. She was ordered to repay nearly $1 million. But the reality? Very little of that money ever returned to me. Collecting restitution was an endless battle, filled with lawyers, accountants, paperwork, and cold bureaucracy. Even now, years later, the pain lingers. The betrayal, the manipulation, the audacity of someone to weave such a perfect web of lies. It is something I carry every day. I tell this story not just for myself, but for anyone who might be vulnerable to love wrapped in deception. Scammers do not just steal money. They steal hearts, dreams, and the very sense of reality. I share my story so that you can recognize the signs, so that you can protect your heart, your trust, and your life. And I share it so that those who hear it understand this simple truth. Love should never hurt this much. And if it does, you are not weak. You are not at fault. You have simply encountered a darkness hidden behind a smile. So listen to my story. Feel my pain. Learn from it. And remember, sometimes the person who promises to be your everything is really the one who will take everything from you.